it's me, Camila Rose, and welcome to another video. So we are doing week 17 update for our 185 Insane. 185 Insane is a challenge to change my life in 6 months, and we have been rocking and rolling with it. Let's get into week 17 because week 17 was a little bit of a harsh one, a little rough, but it was my birthday, so happy birthday to me. I turned 38, very excited. I had a wonderful birthday. It was a great time. Let's look at how I did with all of my goals and my tracking. So under writing, we start with writing 1K a day. I did that 7 out of 7 days. Then we did editing. I have 2 works to edit. I have the Venus Intensive and I have the Night Ritual, which is my fiction Afro sci-fi story. For the Venus Intensive, I did editing 6 out of 7 days. And for the Night Ritual, I did 0 out of 7 because it's not my priority right now. But I still want to track and make sure that I know that I'm aware, hey, put some time, work on this. Under professional goals, I have post 3 pieces of content a day. I did that 7 out of 7 days. Work for at least 2 hours a day. I did that 7 out of 7. And I just did a really interesting activity where I was tracking how much I was working per day. And I did for this week. Now this week is super duper busy. Last week was not even remotely as busy. But I realized that this week I'm working 41 hours this week and I work for myself. I put my own schedule together. I sign up for things. Like, I create how much I'm going to be working a week, and I signed myself up to work 41 hours this week, and I thought that was really interesting. But at least I will be putting in at least 2 hours of work a day. And I did that 7 out of 7 for week 17 last week. Outreach. Under outreach, there are emails to send. There are drop-offs of physical print materials. There are attend events, at least one for each one of the businesses that I'm working with per month. I did 0 of those last week, but I can say we'll see some changes with that coming up this week. For financial, I'm tracking my finances, my spending, things like that. I did that 7 out of 6 days. Under health, I have do at least 4 miles a day, 5 times a week. I did that actually 7 out of 7 days. I walked 4 miles every day last week. I was just out moving about and walking last week, and it was great. For running, I run for 4 days out of the week on Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and I ran for those 4 days. Weight training, I do 3 days. I do on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. After I get done with my run, I immediately come home and I do my weight training. And I did those 3 out of 3. For my Stanleys, I drink at least 1 Stanley a day, hopefully 2 to 3. And I did that 7 out of 7. Vitamins, I did 7 out of 7. Sleep by 10:30. You all know this is the one that I struggle with the most. It is the hardest one for me. I did 2 out of 7 days, less than I did the week before. Now, mind you, I did travel to Houston last week. And so on Monday, Tuesday, I was in Houston. Wednesday, I drove back to Dallas. And so me getting to sleep on time was just something that was really not happening. And then the week was so busy once I got home. I came on a Wednesday and I left pretty early, but I went to Kyoto Brew and in Lancaster, and I spent some time riding there. And then I was going to go to Spa Castle, but they're closed temporarily. So then I went home and I was trying to, finish stuff up around the house. On that Thursday was my actual birthday. So I was out for brunch with my best friend. I was out in Fort Worth. I had to come home. Then on Friday, I had an event that evening. I only ended up making it to bed at 10:30, 2 out of the 7 days. So I'm still working on that. I'm doing okay with it this week. But for the next 2 weeks, it's October. It's witchy season. I'm really busy. So hopefully I will be able to improve upon that in the next 2 weeks. If not, then we will continue to work on it in November until we, just like with the Stanley and with the vitamins, we are able to, and the tuning forks, I'm able to improve upon that number. For personal goals, I do at least 1 long walk a week. I only did 4.5 miles. And the only reason why I even did that was because it was on Tuesday. I went out to a place called Discovery Green out in Clear Lake, annex portion of Houston. So it's like fake Houston. And I did a long walk there. I was not even technically intending to. It was just that I had gone so far along the trail that it ended up being longer than 4 miles. And I am so thankful I did that, because had I not, I would not have made my goal of doing a long walk. So that long walk, I was able to get done on Tuesday. Then I have no socials before 9. I did that 7 out of 7. After 9, 5 out of 7. There were just a couple of days I was like, forget it. I've already been on there. I'm running late anyway, like that Friday. I only did that 5 out of 7 days. Read for 30 minutes. I did that 7 out of 7. Now, I will say that I did pretty well with reading through my physical books that I have on my TBR. The Dracula, I'm still reading through Dracula and trying to get through with that. But once I got back to Dallas, that just fell off completely as well. So I'm picking that up again this week. And then play 2 times a week, drawing, painting, just doing something fun, hanging out with my friends. I just did that 4 times. One, because it was birthday season and it was my birthday. That Sunday, I went to the park and hung out with my friend Rachel for her birthday. So shout out to Rising Love. On Tuesday, I hung out and spent time with my family. On Thursday, I had brunch with my best friend. And then that Friday, I went and spent some time by myself. I went and walked around Denton, which is the Halloween capital of Texas. That's where I had a tarot reading event. I also read there all the time in Denton at Bewitched Denton. And then I went and walked over to Hemlock Fox, which is a witchy bar in Denton. And it was my first time going to visit. They've been open forever, and I just haven't made my way over there because I don't stay out late at night. And I'm always just like, y'all, after a long day, I'm going home. But I said, I'm out. I have good parking. I might as well just go. So I just walked over there. I got myself a nice little mocktail. I think it was like the Cauldron is what it was called. And it was good. I hung out. I did some reading. It was great. Reading a book, not reading tarot cards. So it was a really nice time. So I got in a lot of play and a lot of pleasure that last week. And then lastly, for my spiritual goals, I have tuning forks. I did 7 out of 7. I did ancestors 6 out of 7. I did meditation 6 out of 7. And I took my 3 spiritual baths just like I was supposed to. So it was a pretty okay week for my writing goals. I usually share exactly how much I wrote. So let's take a look at that for week 17. I wrote mostly for the Venus Intensive, doing the edits, because I realized that a lot of the work that I do in that book is related to specific myths or fairy tales or stories. And I was like, I need to write those into the book. So I'm paraphrasing and summarizing those and adding those in. There's a lot of writing that is actually coming from that. So from the Venus Intensive on Sunday, I wrote 1,116 words. On Monday, I wrote 1,042 words. On Tuesday, I wrote 931 words. On Wednesday, I wrote 1,030 words. There we go. Thursday, I wrote 672. Friday, I wrote 151. Saturday, I wrote 1,038 words for a total of 5,980 words. And then I wrote some for the HP short stories, and I wrote 98 words on Tuesday, 388 words on Thursday, 953 words on Friday for a total of 1,430, I think it's 4 words. And I did a total combined 7,414 words. So I still made my 7K goal for my 1K a day, and it was great. So that is how I did for week 17. For week 18, I'm still working on getting more sleep and just kind of maintaining. Sleep is really the big one, and really putting some goals towards doing more of the professional side, sending some emails, prepping and at least creating content or print materials so that I can pass them out, and then finding and locating some activities or events that I can attend to do more marketing and networking and things of that nature. So that's been my goals, and that's what I've done. And so thanks for watching. Let me know how things are going for you. What goals are you working towards? What do you have in mind? What are you really focused on in the next, we have maybe two months with 2 weeks left before it's the end of the year. So there's still plenty of time to get a lot done, or to rest and chill and just allow yourself to relax and enjoy life. Do whatever feels good for you. Take it one day at a time. I hope to see y'all again. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.